Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 28th of January 2018. My name is Kralizec. I'm one of your hosts. The second host is Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how are you?
Great, how about you?
Normal, like, it's 9 o'clock. I would rather be sleeping.
Well, it's 2 o'clock over here, and I just literally woke up like 30 minutes ago.
So you would also rather be sleeping?
No, I'm actually wide awake now.
I usually have, I need like an hour to wake up, usually. The only time when I don't need that is when I get like awakened because I overslept. And I'm literally, I can go out, brush my teeth, get my clothes on, and be in the car in 5 minutes. And start driving off to wherever I need to go. But I don't think people are here to listen, talk, just chit chat. You're here to listen to us talk about games. So Tiger, what have you been playing this week? Anything interesting?
Well, I've been playing some Monster Hunter World.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I would love to play that, but still not on the PC. So tell me.
Yeah.
Is it worth it for me?
For you, I know you're not big into like grind heavy games, so for you, I would say no. But for people that actually like the grind in the game, give this game a try.
How
one
much
of the things
grind heavy is it?
It's pretty heavy. You gotta make sure you have the right equipment for the right hunt. Yeah. You just gotta make sure to gather materials to make potions and all that. So.
But from what I heard, they were trying to essentially westernize the game a bit, to make it a little bit less Japanese-like. In what ways?
One of the big differences, which I like, this isn't my first Monster Hunter game. The first one I played was this one on the PSP back in the 2012. I forgot the name of it, but in prior games, instead of you like when you had to go look for a monster, you actually had to go to each zone until you found the monster.
Okay.
Whereas in this game, you got these things called scout flies, which once you find like a monster track or something like that, it'll actually start tracking the monster for you.
Oh, so it's essentially like a navigational system, and sort of.
Yeah, it makes it easier to track your prey.
I can actually imagine that saving up a lot of time that would otherwise just be spent wandering from zone to zone without doing actually
and not to mention, both in this game and prior games as well, one of the things that really made this thing kind of infuriating a little was you actually were timed on each hunt. You each had like a set number of minutes to find the monster and kill it. And so if you didn't know where the monster was, you could run out of time and fail the quest.
So the best way to do it was probably to pause the game and use Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that from like old school, RPGs where, well, essentially it would tell you there's a monster out to the south, and you were like in the most northern corner of the map, and you were like, yeah, that's very useful. Thank you for your advice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, is it fun? Do you find it fun?
Yes, I do. It is very fun.
Because so far I've seen like 10 best game ever reviews, but I wonder if you like see any problems with it though.
At the moment, no, I do not.
Okay.
Which I'm still like 5 hours in, which that ain't a lot compared to what other people have spent on Monster Hunter games.
So that's like the tutorial essentially.
I'm actually past the tutorial.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like, you're still in the
Yeah.
very, very, very beginning.
Yes.
So, I myself actually managed to play a few games this week as well. Most of them were really shitty. So, the first thing I got to play is called Zombie Soldier. And I got it because, there was nothing on Steam that really interested me, and it seemed really cheap. And, uh, man, did I just not want to actually buy this because it is so fucking bad. And it actually cost $5. So,
Oh wow.
it isn't the cheapest thing, but it's just blatantly shit. Uh, Essentially, you're a zombie. You go around shooting other zombies, but there are so many bugs in the game. The mechanics are absurdly dumb. But the most ridiculous bug I encountered is the fact that, you find a weapon straight at the beginning, you start using it, and then you need to, like, open a door, for example. So you put the gun in the holster, you open the door, and even though it says in the controls, press 2 to take the gun out of the holster again, it doesn't do it. So I just got stuck about 50 minutes into the game. I tried, I was like, maybe this is because I'm using the Czech keyboard setting, so I switched to English. Nothing. I was like, okay, this game was made by Russians. Let's try a Russian setting. Nothing. Just so many bugs. I fell through the floor like 50 times.
Dang.
There are traps on the floor, like spikes that regularly come out of the floor. So my assumption was, just wait for them to go into the ground, walk over them. No, they explode when you do that, and you die.
Huh.
You have to jump over them. Even though they're underground, you still have to jump over them. So, nobody ever please buy this game. It's shit. It's not worth their money. Okay, I'm hoping you get something more positive in terms of the other games you played.
Yes, I also played Dragon Ball Fighters, which
Okay.
I've been really enjoying.
So I'm going to
as
assume
well.
that's probably a fighter game. Just because it's
Yes.
called Fighters and Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Would you compare it to some other fighters?
I'll compare like some of it to like Marvel vs. Capcom because you can have like a third-person team. So
yeah, I actually think I saw that. That was like somebody made the ultimate team and he had 3 Gokus.
yeah.
It was like making
Well,
fun,
yeah. I'll say this though. If you're familiar with the Dragon Ball series, in the show, like some characters are more powerful than others, but in this game, everyone's like on the same level.
That's probably a good thing in a fighter.
Yes, it is. So that means you can't play as like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and just one-shot people.
Yeah, that would probably be a little bit OP.
Yes, it would be.
I will be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of anime in general, but I've been actually watching. I've been watching Dragon Ball Super just because. The concept of universes battling for their survival actually seemed quite interesting, but otherwise, anime just isn't my thing.
Yeah. I would say Dragon Ball, but like all the Dragon Ball series, I would say is a great gateway anime if you're interested.
I think Dragon Ball is like the westernized anime. It isn't like big boobied women in no clothing. The anime, because that seems to me like half of the animes are actually about.
Actually, speaking of that, like especially like in the early days of like Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Z, there was actually a lot of that stuff. back then. Yeah.
But I want to ask you, have you heard about that one anime where it's like women fighting with their butts and boobs?
Yes, I have.
I was like, seriously? This is what you make? This?
Uh,
Uh,
yep. But back to the game.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. In all honesty, it feels like I'm actually playing the show.
Okay.
Like it feels like the game was taken straight out of the show, which I think is freaking awesome.
You mean visually or gameplay wise?
I would say both.
That's a good thing. Like, I think I saw a review of like one Dragon Ball fighter and it was done in 3D. And because of that, it looked nothing like the characters. And I think a big draw of people actually wanting to play these games is for the characters to look, at the very least, very similar to what they see in the shows. It's like, you wouldn't play a Lord of the Rings game where Gandalf would be made blue, would just make no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good that you have some more optimistic news because I have more pessimistic news about games. The other game I've been playing is called Low Poly Hero. And, I don't know. It costs $4.99, so it's not the cheapest game on the market. But it really feels like a school project. There are no interesting mechanics in the game. It's all based around a character that literally only has his helmets, shoulder pads, and boots, so the rest is just not there. It's not like it's not rendered, it's just not there.
Yeah.
The only mechanic there is in the game is you attack, and there's no like combos. You just click the mouse and it attacks. You can defend, but it takes a super long time to defend and to start attacking again. So most enemies will actually hit you more times if you defend and try to attack between defense. And the one last thing is collect coins.
Wow.
Make your swords stronger for coins. Buy health potions for coins. So it's just boring as fuck, It really feels like some guy in university was tasked with making a game, and this is what he did. He didn't put any invention into it. He just, he wants that paper he gets at the end of university, and then he can probably go, I don't know, live with his sugar daddy. I don't know. I really don't know. Just there was no effort into it, no originality. The enemies are also super dumb. There is a zombie, there is a dragon, there is a gargoyle, and yay, I've seen these things a million times in the past. And
yeah.
Maybe if it was like $1, I would be like, sure, maybe, or really, if you really, really want it, buy it. For $5, there are so many better games you can get. Okay, you played anything else?
Yes, I also tried out the Sea of Thieves beta.
Okay, I was thinking about going into that, but in the end I decided not to, as it, seemed like a game that's not really for me.
Yeah, I'll say this first. I would say wait until there's an open beta for that game, because this was a closed beta, and the only way to get in was if you had to pre-order the game.
Oh, I had a friend who offered me, his access.
Well then, I would say you need to get on that before Wednesday.
I will not just, it doesn't interest me that much.
Well, I'll say this: one of the good things about this game, and I'm pretty sure it'll be in the full game, is it's not grind heavy. You can just like hop in for just a little bit and just have a ton of fun, then hop back out and go do something else.
I've been watching some videos from the open beta, and it really didn't like catch my attention. I guess it just doesn't seem like a game for me. But there will be plenty of people who will. But I will say this:
yes,
the water looks fucking amazing. This is probably the best water I ever saw. I know this is not important, but rendering water is really hard.
Yeah. Well, Rares are the masters of it.
It seems so. And how long did you try it in the beta?
I've played for like an hour or two, okay. which I've really enjoyed.
And do you just play with some randos or with friends?
I actually play with some random people.
Do you think that made it worse or better?
Actually, I also tried solo, and I would say it's better if you have a full crew.
Oh, that's usually the case.
Yeah, and not to mention, like to sell your ship, you actually have to like have someone to lower your anchor, lower the lower the sails, and also someone to navigate.
Oh, that's probably really hard doing solo.
Yes,
yeah, I can imagine. So it's not a game for friendless people.
It can be, but I highly recommend that you at least do matchmaking with random people if you don't have any friends to play with.
I think that's a decent suggestion for many games.
Yes.
You got anything else to say about Sea of Thieves? Because
the only thing I could say is, after what happened this past week, I actually kind of regret pre-ordering the game.
Oh, how come?
I don't know if you heard, but Microsoft, they announced that with every new Microsoft exclusive coming out, it'll be also on their Game Pass service as well, day one. So, in which the Game Pass service only costs $10 a month. You can download as many games as you want from the service, so $10 versus $60.
It also depends how long you want to play it, If you want to play for half a year, you will be at the same cost. But if you want to play for a month, then I understand. And, the price is probably not that fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I also played one more game, and this time, luckily, it was actually a good game. It's Celeste.
Yeah, I played some of that too.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was a pleasant surprise. It didn't really catch my attention initially from the graphics. I was like, yeah, this is just another, pixel art platformer, yay. But the platforming is really, really nice. It's precise, it's tight, you need to be really skilled. It's really hard, by the way. I just gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the characters, especially of the main character. She just seems...
I can see that.
She seems like just a typical American stupid millennial. And I'm a millennial, but I don't behave in those stupid ways. She's like all the time. She's like, sigh, and what the fuck? Just be nice to people.
She might be depressed.
Who cares? I've been depressed as well, but that doesn't mean I've been a jerk to people. Actually, I don't think no depressed people are jerks to people. They're sad. This person seems more angry than anything. But if you're just looking for a good platformer with really tight jumps, really nice mechanics, and Celeste is certainly up there. I've been having one weird issue, but I think that's because the fact that I'm using a PS4 controller with a PC. And that's, when you want to use a PS4 controller with a PC, you actually have to run a little bit of an emulation software for it to appear as an Xbox controller for a PC.
Huh.
And whenever the game tells me, to press B to interact with something, nothing happens when I push B. So I have to push the key on the keyboard that would do that normally. It's not. It's like, it's not the biggest thing because usually it's only inside like conversations with characters, etc. It's still like a weird bug, and I really don't think it's the game's fault. I really think there's probably it has something to do with the fact that I'm not using a normal controller. I'm using a controller not meant to be used with the PC.
Yeah. What do you use to use your PS4 controller on your PC?
It's called. Let me find out. DS for Windows.
Oh, okay. Did you download a Celeste through Steam?
Yeah. Obviously.
If I'm not mistaken, there's actually I gotta go back and look because I actually did this with a Cuphead like a few months back, and there's actually a way for you to actually use your PS4 controller through Steam without using DS4.
Okay, that's interesting. The thing is, some games actually, just recognize the controller without any need as a PS4 controller. Some don't. Celeste wasn't one of those who recognized it. Like Rocket League. I don't have to use the emulation software in Rocket League. It just works. So but I'm really guessing it's a problem with the emulation software, but not with the game. But I'll be honest, the game is really fun.
It is.
I really like the fact that it has a death counter. I think I'm something like 300 deaths at this point. I know, I'm bad.
Yep.
I'm really bad in platformers.
Actually,
I will admit that.
Actually, I'll say this: after playing it myself for a bit, in a way, it's kind of like Super Meat Boy. It's like trial and error with your jumps. So
yeah, sometimes I die really stupidly when I'm trying to when you die, it puts you to the beginning of a room. And usually the rooms, they have like 5 or 6 tricks you need to make to get to the other end. So I might die on like the 6th one, and then die 6 times on the first one because I'm trying to rush through it to get back where I was. So it's like you need to be patient and precise.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you get a little bit further into the game, there are mechanics that make it impossible for you to be patient. You just have to go there because otherwise you will die. I know we talked a bit about this. You haven't encountered the first boss yet. I haven't.
Yeah.
But the first boss essentially forces you to speedrun. It chases behind you, giving you like 2 seconds to make every move because otherwise it will just get to your point and kill you. It precisely follows your track, so wherever you are in the map, it will come to you eventually. And the thing is, you also have to plan your movements around where it will be in a moment, because if you crash into it, you will also die. But I actually like that because platformers do have a problem with bosses. The bosses usually are like jump on his head 5 times, or jump on one thing on the right side, that unlocks a thing on the left side, that unlocks a thing on the right side, and then the boss dies horribly. The fact that you actually have to speedrun, I'm going to end chapter 3 pretty soon, and I'm hoping there's another boss on the end of that. And hopefully it will have a different mechanic. That would make me really happy.
Yeah, I bet.
How much did you enjoy it?
So far, I've been really enjoying it, but also I've been preoccupied with Monster Hunter and Dragon and Fighters. So, and I just got this game like last night. So.
Yeah, me too actually. But how much time did I put into it actually? Okay, 95 minutes. I love Steam for this feature. This feature is awesome. Just tells you how much you played. So that's an hour and a half for 3 chapters. I'm unsure how many chapters there are.
8.
Oh, 8. So that means pretty much about a third of the game, third in, and that's hour and a half. So let's say it will be, because I will probably be dying a lot more in the end. So
Yeah.
about 10 hours of gameplay for $20 is again not the cheapest, but depending on how good you are, the game will take you some time. You know, if you're really good, you could probably beat the game in an hour. And
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the point, because the game actually has a speedrun counter. So I think they actually want the game to be speedrun.
Which, no doubt, it will be.
But not by me, and I don't think you will do that either.
If I absolutely want to, I probably could.
Are
But
you
nah.
that sort of insane person who does speedruns?
If I feel like it, yes.
Man, I'm just not. I'm just like, why would anybody subject themselves to speedrunning, forcing themselves to become that good in one particularly unusable thing? It just doesn't appeal
Yeah.
to me.
Actually, the first game I actually ever sped run was Fallout 3.
Why? Why would you do that?
Well, it was like back like in 09. It was during summer break, and I didn't have any other games to play. So I was like, and I already like beat Fallout 3 like 5 times prior. So I was like, you know what? I want to see how fast I can get through this game.
How fast did you get through that game?
It took me like 3 hours to beat the main story.
Okay, so pretty fast. I wonder what the world record on that is. I'm going to bet something like 12 minutes. Let me try to Google that. Fallout 3 speed run world record. Okay, here's the leaderboard. Yeah, 14 minutes, 41 seconds. Time without loads. That's insane. But
Yeah.
the second one is 14 minutes, 47 seconds. And with loading, it was 15 minutes and 1 second.
Dang.
I really don't understand these people. I don't think I ever will. And I probably don't even want to at this point. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself?
The only time I do that is when I absolutely have nothing else better to do.
But you know, you still... There's a difference between speedrunning a game once and speedrunning it over and over and over and over again to just be the best there ever was.
Yeah.
That's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah.
You played anything else than those few games?
No, not really. How about you?
No, and with the amount of shit I played this week, I'm gonna say I think I'm glad.
Yeah, you pretty much got the short end of the stick this week.
Yeah, I was like, so, okay, this looks at least semi-decent. Let's try it. No, fuck. Okay, this one looks at least semi-decent. Oh, fuck, no. And then it was, yay, a game that I can actually play. Okay, but since we don't have any more games to talk about, I guess it's time to move on to the news section of this week.
Yes.
So, let's begin with Twitch. So, Twitch, I don't know if you know, but in 2006, they filed a lawsuit against a few bot makers. And specifically, the bot makers were making view bots. You know, that would artificially inflate the number of viewers you have on your channel on Twitch. And
yeah.
I can see the appeal for both the bot maker and for the people using it. It would just get you higher on the list, give you actually a higher chance of getting some real people and just becoming bigger. And
Yeah.
the thing is, so the lawsuit finally ended, and they will have to pay Twitch $1.4 million.
Dang.
So, more specifically, they will have to pay $55,000 in statutory damages and another $1,316,139, which is the profit they made because they sold their services. I think that's the most insane part. They actually sold ViewBots for more than $1.25 million.
Yeah.
The,
That's crazy.
so the price was as much as 760 per month. So let's assume the average would be 500, and let's just average it out to a million. So it's easier to count. That still means there was at least 20,000 months of their services bought.
Dang.
That's Are people seriously this desperate for viewers? Is it that hard to break on Twitch?
I would assume it is.
Yeah, and I think that raises another issue. I think Twitch needs to make discoverability of small channels on Twitch a bit easier. Because right now, if you're a small channel and you're trying to start streaming, it will be very hard to start streaming. Unless you get insanely lucky and start streaming a game that very few people are playing. Like it happened with PUBG this year.
Yeah.
I think this year, it may be the new card game coming up from Valve, which may be the thing that will make a few new streamers. And I'm actually thinking about trying to stream that a bit, as I actually enjoy card games quite a lot. I played Hearthstone for like 3 years. But if you want to get into like streaming PUBG right now, no chance.
Yeah.
There just aren't games that you could go and stream that would give you a chance if you're a small-time streamer. So as Twitch wants to become bigger and bigger, they will need to create tools for small channels to grow more rapidly than they are growing currently.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. This is just a quick piece, I think. So Intel, the CPU maker, has been talking a bit about their CPUs that are going to come later on this year. More specifically, that's Canon and Ice Lake CPUs. Those are the code names. And they're saying they're making some changes to the architecture to protect them from Spectre and Meltdown. And I don't think there's really much else to say about this than fucking good. If you didn't, I would probably kick you. Yeah, there really isn't anything else. What they said exactly is that we're working to incorporate silicon-based changes to future products that will directly address the Spectre and Meltdown threats in hardware, and those products will begin appearing later this year. Yeah, I think this is just good.
Yeah, it is.
I was hoping like it would come earlier, but because it's a silicon issue, it really cannot come earlier than with new chips.
Yes.
Okay, next one is, and I really want to see your thoughts on this one. So NVIDIA, the graphics card maker, they are asking the people who sell their graphics card to limit it to 2 per customer because of the crypto mining craze. So I really want to know if you think this is a good solution and whether it will go through.
Asking retailers to do that, me personally, I doubt they'll do it. But if they do, I'd be surprised, because if they just sell 2 per customer, that's less money for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there will be a few that do it as a publicity stunt, you know, because look at us,
Yes.
we're consumer friendly and we're gamer friendly and we're selling only two. Come by to us. And
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing, you know. It's a nice thing if they do it. But in the end, I think it will be like 5% of retailers. I think it will be like 1%, to be honest, because there's a huge amount of
Yes.
retailers out there. And it will be like, seriously, if it will be 1% of retailers, I will be amazed. It might be like one big
Yeah.
one, so it might amount for a large amount of sales. But
Mhm.
I just don't think it will really happen in the way Nvidia wants it
Yep.
to. Okay, now this one may be interesting for you. So, PlayStation has launched a new line of collectible figurines. Have you seen them?
Yes, I have.
Will you buy any?
I don't have the space, so no. But I personally can see the appeal for those figures.
And if you had the space, which one would you buy?
Oh man. Me personally,
Yep.
I have to go back and look, but I'd have to have them two series. Oh, actually, no wait.
So you want to
I'll
tell me which
either.
one there were? Do you remember them all? So
No, not really.
so there was Crash Bandicoot, Heihachi from Tekken, the Hunter from Bloodborne, Kratos of God of War, Parappa from The Rapper, Sackboy from Little Big Planet, and the Phasar FX350 ship from Wipeout.
Okay, I would say the three I'd buy are Crash Bandicoot, Kratos, and Sackboy.
Interesting. The only one that appealed to me was the ship from Wipeout
Ah,
because I just like sci-fi shit. It's sort of my thing.
yeah.
But otherwise, I'm not really that big into collectibles, you know.
I'm not either.
And if I was like forced to buy one and it wasn't a ship, I think I would go for the Sock Boy, as he's like cute at least. The thing is that these figurines, they're called Takatu, by the way. Aren't they just rip-offs of amiibos without the amiibo functionality?
Mm,
That's what they seem like to me.
yeah,
Because I think you can probably go and find some God of War figurines online already. You can find some
yeah.
Crash Bandicoot figurines. So I'm not sure. You know, they're $10 each. It's not the worst price, I guess.
Nah, that ain't. No, that isn't.
But I know I certainly will not buy them. Okay, let's move on to one more serious thing. So, a study from the University of York has been recently published, and they had an experiment with nearly 3,000 participants, so that's actually a quite respectable number of people inside the study. And what they were studying is whether, you know, if you see violence in games, whether it will make you more violent in real life. So, try to guess what the result was.
No, it does not make you violent in real life. It actually reduces it.
Yeah, pretty much. It didn't increase aggressiveness at all. What they actually did, they had essentially two experiments. One of them was they used realistic violence, you know, like a really nice looking 3D game. And the other one was in a bit more cartoonish way. What they found is the you are less violent from realistic looking violence on screen than from cartoon violence.
Hmm.
And none of them actually made any difference
No.
from like normal behavior. What they did is they had you play the game, they had you like do some word association exercise. Then they had you play the game, and then you again did the word association exercise, and that's like a standard test for measuring aggressiveness. On top of that, the thing I actually liked about the study is the fact they actually used real gamers for the study. They just didn't pick up random people. They
Okay.
they get people who play games at least once a week. They probably aren't the most hardcore gamers. Some of them probably are very casual, but still, they play games, So,
Yeah.
I will guess that I think this study could probably be also taken to other things. In the past years, we gamers have been accused of many things, but especially of
Yes.
being sexist because of sexism in games.
That's loadable.
And I'm just going to say, why would the games make you sexist from seeing sexist shit if they don't make you violent from seeing violent things?
Yeah.
I'm not claiming, it's 100% true because I haven't made a study with 3,000 participants testing sexism, but I will guess the end results will be exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
Would you willingly participate in such a study?
Yes, I would.
And do you think you would be deemed sexist?
Nope.
I will actually say I think I would, but only because of the American standards for what is sexism. Here in the Czech Republic, we're still normal. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. The way I see it, in terms of like all these different isms over here in the U.S., like sexism, racism, they only exist because most people have the mindset of them existing.
That's an interesting point of view. But I don't think we should go that far into it. That's politics, and that's not our topic here. We may talk about it like later on if we want to, but not here in this podcast. Let's move on to another piece of news. This one I love. John Cena wants to star as Duke Nukem in a movie. I love it. I want to see it happen. First of all, talk.
My only main concern is, would he actually sound like Duke Nukem?
I don't think I care that much about it. My bigger gripe is, I hope they don't try to make the story make sense.
Yeah.
Because that's not the point of Duke Nukem. The point of Duke Nukem is to kick ass.
Yeah.
And if there ever was a game that was to be made into a movie really easily, because, it would essentially just be your average summer action blockbuster, it was Duke Nukem. I'm surprised it has never been done before. There isn't like any actual production being done at the moment. It's actually Cena who wants to play him. So he's trying to find somebody who would write a script, somebody who would actually, film it, etc., etc. But we'll see. We'll see what will happen. The Hollywood Reporter, he's actually trying to get Michael Bay for this. And again, if there ever was a movie made for Michael Bay, it's probably Duke Nukem.
Yes.
Because, I'm not a big fan of Michael Bay, but he can make some really nice looking action scenes. That's literally the only saving grace of his movies. So, would you go to see this on the big screen?
If it doesn't make sense, yeah, I will.
Yeah, that's the point here. Everywhere else, you want the story to make sense. Here, you want it to be as retarded as possible.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on from something silly to something a bit more serious. So, a Washington state senator, more specifically Kevin Ranker from the Democratic Party, he introduced a loot box gambling bill.
Mm.
So, what do you think of this?
Me personally, uh, I would rather the gaming industry to regulate itself, because another we don't need the government in another industry.
Okay, I see your point, but let's actually combine two news stories together because the other one is also connected to loot boxes, and the next one actually says that there was a GDC survey on the Game Developers Conference, and they surveyed almost 4,000 devs, and about 11% said that they are planning to include loot boxes in some games they're developing. I don't think the gaming industry will regulate itself here.
If it was a little bit higher, I'd be more concerned. But at 11%, no, I'm not concerned.
Well, you need to remember we're still really close to the aftermath of the loot box issues with EA.
Yeah.
So there's a reasonable chance that a decent amount of developers just didn't say that because they didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna guess that it's going to be like 20% of games that will be released with loot boxes. And I just don't like loot boxes. I have a huge gripe with them, and the problem is they're making way too much money for the developers just to say, oh no, we're not going to include them. They will. Why would we include a thing that will make us half our profit?
Yeah, true.
So I'm actually for this bill. Um, the bill is really unfinished right now. Essentially, there are three things that need to be solved with this. So first of all, they need to decide whether loot boxes are gambling or not. If they decide that they are gambling, they need to decide whether this form of gambling should be allowed in video games or not. And if they say it should, then to what age groups it should be allowed. And I think they should be allowed. I think they should be considered gambling, but they should be allowed only for adults. My biggest gripe with loot boxes is not the fact that they exist, but the fact that they're the only access to really easy gambling for children. And children's brains are, sorry children, but your brains just aren't developed enough to handle that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there are many adults whose brains just aren't built in a way to handle this. Then they will get addicted as well. But they're adults.
Yeah.
We treat them as adults, but children.
Yeah.
Giving access to loot boxes to children, I just don't like it. Obviously, they will get their hands to it in some way because.
Yeah. In all honesty, even if this becomes a bill, still kids are gonna still find ways to get these type of games.
I understand, but it would make it harder, and just making it harder is a good thing, because then you're essentially the thing is it would make it go away from big AAA titles, I think.
But also, you also got it'll be harder for like a kid to get like a loot box centered game at like a GameStop or Walmart somewhere because you're a child,
Mm-hmm.
but you also got to take into account the digital marketplaces as well, where kids can just go on there and just get the games they want without having to
Well, but
show any form of
that can be very
identification.
easily circumvented. Just ask for proof of age. If you're 21, you need to submit an ID.
Mm.
That if I want to take out my money from the crypto world, and I go over a certain limit, I have to show my ID.
Yep.
Not because of the age limit, because of tax fraud laws, but who cares? I still have to show my ID. And I think that this takes us. I don't think I was talking about this with you, but I still don't understand why don't Americans all have IDs? It just seems ridiculous, Here, you're 15, you get an ID. Every 10 years, you go, they get you a new one. It costs like $5. And even if it costs like $25, just fucking don't go to McDonald's once and you will be able to buy an ID.
Yeah. Well, everyone's different. Like me, I was 18 when I first got my ID, so.
Yeah, here is just the law that you have to get it at 15, and you actually have to have it at yourself whenever you're more than 500 meters away from your house. It's just the law.
Yeah.
And the Americas has always fascinated me with, oh, but I just don't have an ID, so I can't go voting. I was like, how the fuck don't you have an ID? But that's again a different issue.
Yeah.
But
going into politics there.
Yeah, but still, with this, it could be very easily done. Just send a photo of your ID with your picture and date of birth. But it's not that hard. So yeah, talk.
Like I said, we don't over in the U.S. We already have the government and so many different stuff that we don't need them in our gaming too.
Oh, we have our government in gaming already. It's not that bad. The government's it will get worse over time. I'm assuming as more people in the government will be people who at some point played games and will understand that gaming is a thing. But right now, most of them just say, yeah, it's games, who cares? They don't understand how big of an industry it is yet. But I think let's move on a little bit more to the GDC study. As they actually have all the numbers for which business models the devs want to use. So I'll be listing the methods. You tell me whether you think it's a good method or a bad method and why, and then I'll tell you how many devs want to use it. So pay to download, essentially buy to play.
Okay.
Is that a good or a bad way to monetize your game?
Like
just
buy for the game or for the...
Just buy the game and play.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, luckily 49% of developers want to use that method. It's just literally half.
Okay, good.
Then you have free to play.
Yeah, I can see that being a good thing, because if it's free to play, but then if you want to get better at the game, you can either do a lot of grinding or pay for microtransactions. So I can see that too.
I think this category is really bad because it doesn't tell you what the actual monetization system will be.
Yes.
So it's it doesn't tell you anything. But 39% of developers are working on a free-to-play game. Okay, then we have paid DLC / updates. So what do you think of paid DLC?
I would say if it's a sizable expansion, I would say go for it. But if it's just like for an example, if it's just like horse armor, no.
I don't even mind that. The only problem I personally have with paid DLC if it's day one DLC.
Ah,
You know what? That's the thing I don't like. If it's available to buy on the day you released your game, just fucking put it into the game.
yes, yeah, really.
But expansions, I don't give a shit. Just make them worth my money.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have paid in-game items, where it means you see a hat, you pay for the hat, you get the hat.
Okay, and this is without loot boxes, correct?
Yes, this is without loot boxes. This is, you like that orange hat? You can buy this orange hat.
Now, that I actually think is pretty good because, you can actually choose which items you want in the game instead of having to go on chances.
Yes, and that's exactly my opinion as well. 22% of developers want to use this model. Then you have
Okay, good.
Then you have paid in-game currency, like crystals or whatever. But again, it doesn't tell you whether you can buy items directly with these or you have to buy like loot boxes with these.
Yeah, with that, I would say half and half because if you get the in-game currency and then you can go and choose which items you want, that's a good thing.
I agree. Next up, I don't think we will. Neither of us will have problem with this one. It's free DLC and updates.
Yes, that's awesome.
Next one, I think is. I think this one is mostly mobile. It's ad supported.
If it's a free-to-play game, then yeah.
For me, it's more about how obnoxious the ads are. How frequently they're being displayed, and how long they are. So let's say it would be a game where each level has like 2 minutes, and I think that's fair for a mobile game. And after each level, it would display you a minute-long ad. I think that would still not be a good business model. As spending half of your playtime watching ads, no. Okay, next one, and I think this one is like the devs being really optimistic, is paid subscription.
I'll say this: if the game is free to download, then yeah, have a paid subscription. But if you have to pay $60, and then on top of that, $15 a month, no.
Okay, I would disagree on that, as I think there are games that are worth the box, and on top you're paying, for the service of the game running, like servers, etc., etc. Especially if it's like older games, that have been running for, World of Warcraft is a prime example. But I just think it's really optimistic. I don't think people like subscription-based models anymore. And it's 13% of developers working on paid subscription games. Just seems like an absurd number. I wonder if they're including season passes in here. Okay, next one. I think you will have exactly as much as I have to say about this one, and it's nothing. It's called Other.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? I don't know, but 12% of people want to use it. It must be really good. And the last one are paid item crates, loot boxes.
No.
No. Please stop. Please.
Yes. If you want to monetize your game, look at Warframe. Look how they monetize their game. Their monetization is a lot better than having loot boxes.
I think almost everybody's monetization is better than loot boxes these days.
Yes.
Okay, and that's it for the study that has been done. Yeah, I just think it's dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, actually, me personally,
Mm-hmm.
if if you wanna make more money off your games, raise the price of it.
Yeah, exactly. Games have been
Yeah,
stuck at the same price point for such a long time.
yeah,
It is
yeah. Like over here,
actually time for games to get more expensive, and I know a lot of people will be like, "What the fuck are you saying?
yeah,
Are you saying that we need to pay more for our games?" Yes.
yeah. In fact, when I got Monster Hunter World,
Mm-hmm.
I could have either paid $60 for just for the standard edition, or I could have paid $70 for the deluxe edition. And since I was like, you know what? Since this game is gonna have free updates and free expansions, I'm saying, shit, I'm gonna go for the deluxe. Just give them a little more support.
Yeah, but I really think the standard editions these days should probably be at, if not 70, then at least $65. And
Yeah,
I don't think anybody could say anything against it because people are so like against making the games more expensive, but they don't realize everything else has been getting more expensive. You just don't notice it. Like
yeah,
I think a good example. There was a huge controversy here in Czech Republic last year because the prices of butter have gone to like $2.50 per one pack of butter. I'm gonna
mm,
assume they're probably more expensive in America, but people were like, I remember when I was young, I would buy a butter for 5 crowns. I'm like, duh, but you were also making 10 times less money.
yeah,
So people just don't understand. Like, with the amount of money you're making today, you're capable of buying more games than 10 years ago with the
yeah.
average pay.
Yep, and I can attest for that. Like what I've been doing on Steam, I make enough money to actually get the deluxe edition because actually, like, I want to see games like Monster Hunter succeed.
Mm-hmm. And for that, you need to buy the games. And people just
Yes.
don't understand it anymore and it pisses me off.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to Blizzard. It's going to target toxic YouTubers with bans in Overwatch.
Mm.
What do you think of this? Do you think this is a good thing?
I'll tell you, it's also good, but also bad. It's good that they're trying to assist the community, but it's also bad because they're trying to censor their players.
Mm-hmm. But I think this is a really good thing because a lot of for a lot of young children, streamers and YouTubers are the people they look up to these days. They don't look up to hero from a book. They don't look up to a great sportsman very often. They look up to their favorite streamer.
Yeah, true.
And if his whole, because I don't think many of these so-called toxic YouTubers and streamers are actually bad people in real life. They
Yeah,
usually have a persona when they're streaming.
yeah,
But if their persona is being a fucking jerk,
yeah,
these kids will think it's cool to be a jerk. And I don't think I want next generation to grow up as jerks because they think it's cool. So I sort of hope the bans will be short, but the people will be forced to change their behaviors.
yeah.
But I'm just not sure how effective it will actually be. But I'm hoping it actually will be. And in terms of Overwatch, we actually have one more piece of news, and that is a professional Overwatch player, more specifically Park Yoon Young, which name I probably just butchered completely. He's known as Prophet. He has been fined $1,000 for flipping the bird to the camera during a match against the San Francisco Shock team on the January 25th. He obviously apologized. He said he didn't realize he was being filmed. It was like meant as a joke for his teammate. It wasn't directed at the opposing team, etc., etc. He flipped it straight into the camera. If you look at it, like I think he knew he was being filmed, and
Yeah.
I think it's fair. I would actually, again, I think the fine could be a little bit harsher here. Maybe like $2,000. It wasn't like as big of an offense as the one we talked about last week.
Yeah.
And that guy, what did he have to pay? Like $2,000? I think. It's like, so you yell at somebody like, "Go suck a dick and eat shit," etc., etc., and you yell that directly at somebody, you get fined $2,000. You just do like, "Yeah," and you get fined $1,000. I don't think that's fair.
No.
Yeah. But otherwise, I actually like the fact that Blizzard is taking the time to punish people.
Yeah.
It's not something we are used to from the gaming community.
Nope.
Okay, do you think the punishment was fair? Would you make it harsher, less harsh?
Actually, yeah, I would actually make it a lot less harsh because all I did was just flip it, shoot a bird at the camera. So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would probably want it more just because I think these people are actually making enough money to be okay with it. But I can understand it wasn't a big offense. It wasn't like something that, would require him to be jailed and killed and tortured. Okay, and I think we're done with the news. Do you have something you want to add to the news?
No. We pretty much talked about all the big stuff that happened this past week, so.
Okay. Then I guess we could go into recommendations. Do you have something to recommend for next week?
Yes. I'd like to recommend the Cydia Final Fantasy NT. Okay. It's coming out for the PS4 on Tuesday for $60.
Cool. I actually have one game to recommend as well. It's a Czech game. It's an indie game, unsurprisingly. It's from the creators of games such as Machinarium, Botanicula, and Samorost. They're like little adventure games. It's going to be called Huchel. I know that's really hard to pronounce, and I'm pretty sure everybody will call it Chuchel. But it's actually meant to be pronounced Huchel. And it's coming out early 2018. There really isn't a specific date set yet. But from what I heard, it should be coming out somewhere in early February. And it should be like a little funny adventure game. The graphics are amazing. The guy really knows how to draw. And it's usually it's really crazy games. It's like, it's completely nonsensical, but that's sort of the point. I'm going to try to write this guy up, maybe get a review copy, but he's pretty big inside the indie scene. Samorost is quite famous. Do you know Samorost?
No, I do not.
Oh, you should try those. I think I heard somewhere they might be coming out for a Switch.
Okay.
So you might want to try that.
Okay.
But the thing that I love about the game the most, so you're playing as a hairy hero called Huchel, and Huchel in Czech essentially means ball of hair. And he's trying to fight his rival Kekel, and Kekel essentially means like, it's the sound a baby makes when they need to go poo. So you can see what sort of game this will be, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's
Hmm.
quite fun. Okay, that's it for me with recommendations. You got anything else to recommend?
No, I do not.
Okay, then I guess it's time to slowly end the show.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, maybe you want to give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe you want to give us an upvote on Steam It if you're watching there.
Yes.
Be sure to follow our blog as every single day we're making some nice gaming news for you guys so you know what's going on in the industry. And I think it's time for Shilling to begin.
Yes. First off, I want to let you and everyone else know. February 9th through on February 9th, I'll be going to New York City for a few days, so we might have to like either move the podcast up a day or before that Sunday.
Mm-hmm. But that's 2 weeks from
And
now.
yeah, I'm just gonna let y'all know ahead of advance. So.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me at Tygergamer on YouTube, and at Tygergamer on Steam.
And you can find me as Kralizec Gaming on YouTube and as Kralizec on Steam It. And that's going to be it. So see you guys later with more gaming content.
You have a good one.